up, guys? Welcome back to Motivate Her. So today I have my sister on the show.
Hi, guys.
Her name is Tiffany. I'll let her introduce herself, but we really don't have one specific topic. We're here to express how awesome we are.
Well, also we motivate each other. So
we really do.
Why would we not be on? Like
why?
we are each other's hype woman. Right?
We really are. You're my A1.
I feel like if you have a sister and she's not your hype woman,
get another sister. Yeah.
We can't really get another sister.
Well, you're right. You can't. But find somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Find your sisters in life. Find your sisters in Christ.
Yes. Amen.
Yes.
Rocking with it.
She turns into a surfer when she's with me.
I do. So tell people a little bit about yourself. Sista.
Okay, so I really didn't prepare a formal introduction. I just thought being your sister was like my title for these intents and purposes. No,
it is.
Right?
Yeah.
No. I feel like it's really. I think honestly, let's talk about that first, because I feel like as women we're so often like, how do you define yourself? Like, what is your mold? Like, and I feel like that's a really weird time, especially when we have like new aesthetics rolling out. Like I could never be like, I'm a mob wife, or I'm a clean girl, or I'm a hippie boho kid, or I am a crunchy mom, or I don't
even know what half of these mean.
Okay, well, your audience does, right? Okay. Like most women, I feel like do. No,
they probably do. I'm not on TikTok and stuff as much either, so that might be.
I don't even feel like it's that. I feel like in general. Okay, the Stanley Cup, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's a good example. Not that there's anything wrong with it. Like, I would get one, I would have one, or whatever. But I feel like so many people have like this defining, like, this is who I am and this is my title, but I feel like I could never do that. Like, I feel like I am so many things.
Me too. Neither one of us own a Stanley Cup either.
And listen, if you want to get me one, like, I would take one. But like, first of all, you know me, I don't even Black Friday shop. I don't wake up early for anything. I'm not fighting anybody in the line because I'm a lover.
Not a fighter,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But I feel like it's hard to define yourself. Like, even if as a woman you have a job title, does that is prominent, does that trump motherhood? Or as a mom, that doesn't trump your career, right? Mm-hmm. Or like, you can't define yourself by one thing because that's constantly going to change.
Exactly.
Right?
Have you seen Barbie?
Of course I've seen Barbie.
Okay. The America Ferrera moment.
One of the best moments in cinematic history of 2023.
Right. 1,000%. That was 2003 was a good year because it brought us like the era's Renaissance and the Barbie movie. But that I cry every time. I cry when she's sitting next to the little old lady on the park bench, and then I also cry every single time America Ferrera is like, we have to do this, because it's so true. But I feel like if you just kind of live try to live in your truth, which I think we both, now I can honestly say that I do, but I feel like we both do that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like, there's like, I feel like so many women are like so afraid of their 30s.
I'm looking forward to my 40s.
Oh, listen, but like, I feel like when you tell like 20-year-olds, like, they're like, I don't think they believe you, because when people used to tell me that, I'd be like, listen, oldie, okay, what the ever, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because you just can't imagine, like, I feel like the profound contentment, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That like comes with just like being comfortable in who you are, like figuring stuff out. Like, hopefully you've reached some level where like you feel some kind of like stability, or not even that, like maybe you found your rhythm. I don't know, but I just feel like there's something amazing about being a woman in their 30s.
Yes. I feel like the older you get, it's the better it feels. Because you know how mom always says, like, the older you get, you trade your looks for your wisdom or whatever.
That's 100% true.
Right. But so we're enjoying this transitional period, I feel like, where we've got all this wisdom, but we still have all this look, all this readiness, all this youth. Like, what? So, but that's, so it's like a really good timing in your life.
Right.
Until it's not. You know what I'm saying? Or until, like, hopefully not, but you get older, things start shutting down.
Oh, that's dying, and that happens to everybody.
Until the cycle of life, like, really starts to, like, hit you.
Right. And I think that part of, I don't know, I think that sometimes people struggle with aging, men and women, like, that do, because I get the profound privilege to like work with people with all walks of life and, you know, all points in life. But I do talk to a significant amount of older people, and like, you can tell, like,
tell people what you do for a living.
I work in matchmaking.
So what? Tell them what you do.
I've been doing it for 17 years, and
she's really good at it. Like
I am
phenomenal at it.
Thank you.
You remember when I worked with you for a brief moment in time, and she would be like spoon feeding me the words, and I'd be like, you know, she'd be like, just shut the fuck up. Like, just listen to what I'm saying. Just, it doesn't matter. Just cut them off. Just, and then she would be talking, and then that other person on the other end would be talking, and I would just be repeating what she said, thinking, and they would be like, okay, and I'd be like, what?
I don't know.
Okay, no, keep talking.
I feel like part of it, like, and I don't know why, because we're sisters, so I feel like we're the same, but like different, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to explain. Yeah. Like, did you say eyebrows are sisters, not twins, right?
Yes.
Kind of like that theory. But like, so it's like, I think we both have a same personality where people want to talk to us, but I just have a little bit, kind of like when you're freaking out and you call me, why do you call me?
Because I'm freaking out.
And I'm going to calm you down.
Right? And like earlier, I was looking for the microphone hook, and she was like, no, look, we both bought the same matching lipstick. She's like, this is going to be a moment. It's going to calm you down. And it did. It was so sweet. I love it. Shit like that. You are good at that.
But like, I feel like that is kind of like, I don't know. It's weird to describe like all of your gifts, right? Like, I feel like we're all given certain gifts. Like, I'm clumsy, right? Like, I can trip over nothing, but I can motivate the hell out of you. You know what I mean? Or like encourage people.
Yes.
Or like calming them down. And I feel like police should call me to talk people down from ledges too, because I feel like I would also be very good at that.
I feel like you are really good at making people realize, like, you're really good at making people realize, like, you know what I mean? The reason, like a purpose, like the point, like all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're more than it's, but yes, and it is motivating. Like, because talking someone into
trusting you with their love life is like a huge deal.
It is.
You know
And people that, I mean, some people were probably like, what does she do? It's a like if you've ever seen, kind of like Millionaire Matchmaker, only not at all, but it's kind of somewhat of
Bravo
the same.
did approach us once about a show, and we weren't able to do it. But I was really upset at that moment because I'm like, guys, I was made for TV.
I know.
But, you know, honestly, but like, okay, reality shows are not real, and like there's that element that you don't.
No, yes, they are. Like, the reality shows are real. They're out there, but nobody, like, only so many people want to, like, everybody wants to watch them, right? I feel like people only really want to watch the Kardashians because they're pretty and they're funny too. Like, you know,
but there's so many like fabricated elements, is what I'm saying, and like most people are coming to us for like genuine love, so that's just not something we're able to do. But moving on, we don't have to talk about my job. But that's all I'm saying is like I feel like that's what I love to do is like just be
inspire people.
Well, and just be like encouraging,
to
people, right? Like I feel like that's something that we all need, you know. And but all I was saying is, I talk to a lot of older people, and I feel like people age. You know, you can age so many ways, but I feel like people are most comfortable aging when they are comfortable with themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like happy, you know.
Yes. That's so true.
And everybody's like, well, duh. Like everybody wants to be happy.
Because if you feel good, and it doesn't just mean like, I mean, obviously physically, but not. You know what I mean? Like if you feel good, like someone that's just genuinely wake up every morning, you don't have too many health concerns, mentally you feel good, like life is good, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. It's a good day, in the words of Ice Cube.
Yes. Yes. See, see how awesome we are? So whenever I got here and before that, I'm like, what were some topics some things that you want to discuss? I don't want to use the word passionate, things that you're passionate about. But
I was like, because I'm passionate about everything in life, like in general.
Yes.
I feel like that's honestly, that's one of the things that I feel like that's the biggest challenge. One of the biggest challenges. We want to pause it, or can you?
Jordan, stop.
It's okay. I mean, it's not okay. I'm sorry, but you cut him out. I won't be mad if you cut him out.
Oh, it's my nephew. He's so cute.
Oh,
he is.
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna cut it out.
Okay. So, where were we at? Okay. You might have to cut that out because I don't know where we're at.
That's
now.
fine.
That was very distracting.
What are some things that you are, I don't want to say passionate about, but what are some things that I guess you can say kind of light your belly on fire, like topics, or as far as like speaking of the whole the America Ferrera moment, what are some things that I guess you wish more women did or did not do in a positive aspect anyways?
I wish more women did not gaslight other women. Like just in general. Like I don't know. I know that sounds.
I know because it's so true. Because for whatever reason, like I feel like there are some people, just people in general. Mic drop. I feel like some people just in general gaslight people just because they're assholes. But women have a specific way of gaslighting other women without even sometimes using. I don't want to say. I guess using mean words. It's more so doing mean things. Whether it's like talking about them behind their back, or you know what I'm saying, like basically dropping tea and not even talking about them when they're not around to defend themselves, or when somebody else is talking about them when they're not around and not sticking up, whatever it may be, or if they hear someone engaging in a negative conversation and they kind of add into it. I mean, I've done it, I'm guilty, but now when you get older, you're just like, I don't have time for that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what in your life is so, when I was younger, you don't realize these things because
you're not the end of the world.
Right, yes, exactly. But now that you get older,
be okay.
Exactly. And that's, to me, that's one of those things, that is one of those moments of being happy too. Not just, you know what I'm saying, like mentally, like you're not worried about what everybody else is doing or what she's doing. And you just, even if you don't cheer every single friend on every single day, you do your best to kind of just show up and just genuinely be like, hey.
I think since we started talking, like that made me realize the answer to your original question, which was, what are you passionate about? What gets you heated up? And so like I feel like I am passionate about so many things, but I also am like really in a season of not being overly heated up about anything. Does that make sense? Like I know that sounds really anticlimactic and it sounds like, okay, what are you talking about? But I don't know, I just feel like, okay, especially like in our generation, right? Mm-hmm. Like we've seen a lot of really crazy things between like 9/11 happened when we were at school,
COVID,
2020, and like if you have boomer parents, are parents boomers? They're boomer-ish.
No, they're like right before the boomers.
Okay.
Our
anyways,
are boomers.
You know what I'm saying? They're both very like politically riled up all the time. And honestly, to be fair, it was way before politics, but they just have very like
they are very, very strongly opinionated about
everything.
Basically
everything
they are
in the world. And so like, and obviously
in such different ways kind of though too.
And in some ways the same, which is also very weird because I'm like, how are you so different?
And how did you maybe have children?
And how did you live together? But also, how are you kind of alike in some ways? Like
that's how they live together.
Had to be. I don't know. But you know, like, and just from like grinding so hard for so long, you know, and being just, I feel like I've been so motivated, like my soul up. And that's not even like I've done anything. Like you know, just crazy. But like, you know, being younger, like you're trying to start your career and raise your family. And so you're just making sure like you're working and making the right career moves to like,
and making like you're more cautious about moves that you make because you have to, you know what I'm saying? It's not just you, like it's right. People, which is hard, but then here we are,
made it out the mud. Mm-hmm. But you know, and so like you're just, I feel like my 20s I was just so on fire though, and not even in a bad way, just, and I'm still like
in what way that you're not now?
Well, I wouldn't even say not now. I just feel like it's a conscientious, like, it's just more of like a slow down season, right? Like your kids are getting to the point where when they're young, like you're just, you know, adjusting to motherhood and like maybe your marriage is new and just like you're just going. And like, I feel like I'm really grateful for it, but I feel like I've been, just because of starting to work from home and like life just slowing down, like I've been afforded the ability to just like slow down a little bit, which sounds crazy because I'm always super busy still, so I don't even know why I say that, but just like,
but you're blessed in the sense that you have the option, like you're busy, but half of that stuff you choose to do because
right, it's like volunteering and it's like, let me do this brunch or whatever. Yeah,
because 100%. It's like you're volunteering your time, which is
To the kids, okay?
To the kids. You do it for the kids, which is to me, I say all the time, like time, people at this, like, time, the fact that that's one of the most generous gifts that you can get.
I mean, honestly, time is our most precious resource.
It is. 100%. And so people don't respect that.
It infuriates me like no other. But yes, okay. And so, I just feel like, in 20, like, especially maybe if you didn't grow up like privileged, right? Like we didn't grow up like poor slums, but on the other hand too, like, we became young mothers and stuff. And so, you're just kind of in survival mode. So I think that's been like, I'm just really at a point, like season where like, you're not even just not being in survival mode.
You're in like thriving mode.
Yeah.
But
also not even like, I'm also like purposefully, because at first I felt a little bit of a shift, like when my kids started getting older, like, oh my gosh, now I gotta like pursue my career super hard, or like maybe even make changes, or, just do all these things. And I'm like, you know what? No. Right now, like, they're gonna be leaving the house soon. I'm gonna get teared up just thinking about it. But you know how that is?
No, I know.
And I'm just like, I just wanna like
enjoy
live every moment of that. Like,
I know what you mean.
I think I'm but I really think I'm going to. But just being like able to intentionally slow down. Like I think that's what I'm passionate about, is just really savoring
every moment.
Just savoring life, yeah. You know
and,
what I'm saying?
And enjoying it and not sweating the small stuff, which you've never really been.
Listen, I had a whole cleaning schedule calendar at one point. So I mean, I have not been bad about it, but like I just like let that go. Like you can tell a little bit.
It's hard. Like I never even had a cleaning schedule. I just, I always clean.
You just don't stop cleaning.
I have to clean every
But I'm
day.
saying like I would make, and I do like stuff every day, but I also had like certain days where I like do clean certain rooms. That was insane.
You're an amazing mom.
Like, and that was my 20s though, right? But like if I had to calendar it, if I didn't, what have you done?
Everything that you've done and everything that you still do, like you make me, I tell you this all the time, like you make me always want to be on my best like mom game, and you're just how you volunteer all like your time, and how you're always doing stuff for like I'm not trying, but you are just an amazing woman and mother, and you have always been one of my biggest motivators, and I'm so proud of you. Like I'm not saying that because we're on it right now. I'm saying that because I mean it, and I told you that, like you inspire the crap out of me.
You know what's cool though too, also going from being like the big sister, and like I've always, when you have a little younger sibling, like you don't know this because you don't have a younger sibling, but like you kind of always a little bit feel them admiring you. Probably like, but I've always felt like at some points we were like, it's weird because we're so close in age that like most moments it just feels like you're my equal, right? Because we're practically the same age. But like in little micro moments throughout the years, I would feel that little admiration, like copying what I do and getting mad, and then like later being like, oh, she was just trying to like look up to me. Like that's actually kind of cute. But now it's been nice because you actually get to motivate me now, sister. Like I got to watch you grow. Like I honestly I'm not gonna cry again, but I honestly teared up the other morning in my kitchen because I was thinking about Jaden, because I was making avocado toast, and I was like, I need to make her a loaf of this bread because she would love it. And I was like, I can't believe she's almost grown. And then it just flooded with these memories because I just started thinking about you, being such a young mom, and just like I literally teared up in my kitchen because I was like overwhelmed with gratitude for how the situation turned out for you, with and with admiration for you, because like, man, Jessie used to work so hard. Not that you don't work hard now, but just watching you do everything and kind of coming to your own and finding your when I say finding your brand, I don't mean like in an authentic way. I mean like
who I am.
Like finding your you, because it's hard, like especially when you grow up, like we've always been like little thicker queens or whatever, in the time where it was not like now. It's like, honestly, could you imagine, like we would have slayed being a teenager today.
I think that all the time.
Okay, like they're penciling on their freckles, like okay, I got those in the summer. Okay,
right? Those
have
are
Mexican
problems. Hard for those.
Like the booties, the thick thighs. Like in the age of Paris Hilton, we were heifers. But by today's standards, we would have had the most rockin' bodies.
And that's crazy how much time.
But I'm happy for this moment. I mean, like honestly, I feel like even though it might be one of the easiest times now, but it's also probably one of the hardest times. But like I am happy for that one glimmer of hope. Is like I feel like women are so much more celebrated for flaws to the point where they're even faked a little bit. Like people drawing, you know, freckles or doing stuff like that. But it's like,
no, Jaden told me a long time ago. This was like a year ago. She was like, imperfect skin is in, Mom. And I was like, what do you mean? She was like it's not like it's legit. Because honestly, I think I'm surprised it's not like a huge thing now. Because
you said you have to stop it.
I'll stop it here and say I'm surprised it's not like a huge thing now because everybody has like all you ever see is like perfectly like Snapchat pictures or the AI pictures.
Well, that's what I meant by women gaslighting each other. It's more about the inauthenticity. Okay, listen. I saw this lady the other day, and granted, she was asked by like a commenter, but she was telling people that yoga is satanic. This is one of like, you want to do like, let's pick some bones. I would love to know what bones you're wanting to pick with society. Because the first thing is everybody being a freaking expert at everything, okay? Like, you can love Jesus, but it doesn't make you a theological...
religious freak.
Well, not even that. Like, it doesn't make you a
when
person
I say
that
religious
needs to
freak,
do...
I mean people that sit there and like say you shouldn't do all these things, and then they go around and do, and they go and do them.
Well, like, for example, this lady had very obvious... Okay, we grew up with women that age like vampires, okay? Our aunts, our mom, like... They look very young. And so I know this wasn't just the case, but this woman had a very obvious Botox. Like up here, her face did not move at all when she spoke. So like, it's like, and it's like, if yoga is satanic, Botox is too. Okay?
I mean, yeah, and so is...
Like, I'm not even like coming for Botox, and then somebody's like, you're just coming for... No, first of all, I know people I love, and I might get it someday when I'm older. Like, older. I think that there's a huge epidemic problem right now with women getting it way too young. Like, why are you in your 20s, you got Botox, but you look older than me? Because,
okay, but...
Do you feel like that's weird?
No, I think...
They're aging themselves.
They really are, and it's sad because I have seen some gorgeous women that... If you want to get like the... And I'm not knocking it.
No.
Like, I'm not knocking it because, you know what, they look great, but what I'm wondering is, like...
How is that going to look?
I've seen their before pictures, I'm like, she looked... It kind of always takes me back to Pamela Anderson, which I freaking love Pamela Anderson. If you haven't watched the documentary, you should. She's a badass. Especially now in that older prime age that we're talking about.
That's the contentment I'm talking about. That's the contentment we're talking about.
But when she was younger, like in my opinion, she never needed... Like, she was just one of those people that literally was born gorgeous.
Born this way. I woke up like this.
Seriously, like... But then, you know, and I'm not, again, if you want to get your lips done, get surgery, like, I'm for it. I'm not judging it. But I'm saying the women that are getting it at such a young age, they don't even need it. Like, save that and save your money for when you're older. You know what I'm saying?
And you might need it someday. We don't know. But the point was not that this lady had Botox, but it was that when I commented, like, hey, well, like, why do you feel like yoga is satanic, which, like, they have holy yoga classes. They have all this. Why is it that satanic, but like putting poison in the face that God gave you? Is it because, like, what? You know, she's like, I don't have Botox, but thanks for the compliment. That's the gaslight. Like, I would believe those people, but like, it's not that she just had it. It's that she looks like she just freshly had it done. Like, her face was paralyzed from the top up. Like, we know several people just in our family, right, that have had work done, but it's so subtle that, like, I wouldn't know had they not told us,
right?
Or our mom or our other aunts to tell us. Like, let's be honest, but like, you wouldn't know, right? No, their faces still move, they're still very expressive. There was no movement, and that's just like, that's the kind of gaslighting I'm talking about. And I feel like it's a huge problem, like, in social media, like, obviously, but also just even in real life, right?
No, yes, it is. Like, yes,
pretenders.
110%.
And not like the good ones.
No,
like,
I was about to say, because there are some times where I feel like I'm not being fake and putting on like a fake persona necessarily, but I am. Sometimes there's a time where you have to be fake nice to people you don't like. Just, you don't have to, but I do it because I guess, I don't know if you would call that being the bigger person or just simply wanting to avoid confrontation, because sometimes, and I'm not going to point out specifically in what places, but I'm just saying there are times in life where I feel like I'm being fake, but I'm doing it for the benefit of my own well-being and happiness, if that makes sense. I'm not lying to them. I'm just simply like...
I think being like,
and it's more of a respect thing for myself and maybe the person I'm not being hateful to. Maybe. I don't know, because you know,
yeah, I
there's
feel
also
like that's
sometimes
just
where
like,
I will be like, stay with someone.
I feel like that's a perfect example of us just growing with very fiery parents, because I feel like what you just described was just being normal. Like, and like if you don't like somebody, like not be like, hey bitch, and just like instead just be like being I don't even feel like fake nice is the word, just being just having common courtesy, like just being civil. That's what I was looking for.
Yes.
Just being civil.
So
Like I don't even feel like that's fake. I feel like that's just being an adult.
Okay.
She said, "Oh, okay."
Well, and sometimes I feel like that, but I'm probably just letting society like get to me one way or another.
Yeah. Well, like I feel like there's a difference between being disingenuous and being rude, right? Like I feel like people genuineness just lacks in general, like in the society that we live in today. So I feel like being genuine can get you so far as a person, but that doesn't mean that you have to like scowl at somebody if you don't like them. You know, you're just keeping up with the peace, right? But that's a very different thing than saying to somebody like, I'm your friend, I'm your best friend, accepting help from people, and then dragging their name through the mud, speaking poorly about them. Like that's, to me, that's more like the gaslighting or the toxic feminine energy, is kind of like the mean girl thing.
Yeah.
But like in adulthood, it can look very different. Like, have you ever had to have a friend break up?
Yes.
And like,
And I'm not gonna lie, I'm sure I've been on the negative spin of some of those. I was younger, I was stupid, I was dumb, and just didn't think things through. I was just kind of like, I was quick to be like, you're on my off list, you know what I'm saying? I was quick to quote unquote take people to the train station, but not really. I never killed anybody. Just, you know what I'm saying? Like, just not talking to anybody. Literally just cutting them out of my life without really reasoning with myself even.
I actually went through something like that recently, and it was really crazy because it was like, I even gave them like a conscience, like, I kind like, you know what you're doing when you kind of call somebody out, like, you know how that's going to go, right? Either they're going to have like, a change behavior or an acknowledgement of that, or you're going to have to part ways basically. And so with her, instead of like taking accountability and be like, you know what, you're right, she's like, I'm sick of this, I'm done. Well, that's fine, because I really don't want to be your friend anymore. You know, because you have somebody that like, and in retrospect, like probably one of my biggest problems is I am such a passionate person about everything and everybody, and even myself, but I'm also like have a tendency to see the absolute best in people. Yes. To a point where I feel like people will run over me and I wouldn't even know it. Like it took till after I was no longer friends with this person to have like another like mutual acquaintance say to me, oh yeah, one time, and I say mutual acquaintance because I'm not going to say friend, because like why did this girl talk to this other girl negatively about me, and I just found out once we stopped being friends.
Right.
That's the shit I'm talking about, right? Because like I will call somebody out. Like I remember I'm just going to say S for privacy, but do you remember really pretty blonde hair? Yes. S that we used to work with? The sweetest person, but you know, she was like the biggest gossip, right? Yes. And like that was the only thing that ever made me feel uncomfortable. And I never asserted myself when I was younger, because I knew her for 10 years. We knew each other. Yeah. And when we were younger, I didn't really say anything, but it got to the point where when I was older, a little bit before we stopped working together, I'd be like, I would call her out. But like the difference is she had a pretty good heart, and she was actively trying to make herself a better person. You know, she went through a lot of stuff with losing people, and so she was like, you know what, you're right, I'm sorry, girl. Because I call her out when she starts gossiping, like, hey, don't do that, you know, that's not cool. And so that was kind of a similar situation with what happened with this other girl, except what really I started to notice, it wasn't just that she was talking about people, which I'm like not saying that's great, like, you know, they say lower intellect and all that, but sometimes we all just like the tea. So like, I'm not even gonna deny that we don't all like that sometimes, but it was the closeness of the people that she was speaking about.
Yes.
Right? Like her best friend cousin, like spreading bad words, spreading bad, like about her business. This is like her livelihood. Like she's a stay-at-home mom, but she does this job on the side, and she had told people, oh, don't order from her because her kitchen's nasty. Like, this is your cousin. And somebody that's done a lot for you, but I don't see her do a lot for her. Yeah. And I noticed that this was kind of a trend, and then I just started feeling really uncomfortable, because I'm like, I know, and about all of her friends, I know so much about their marriages, about their lives, like the negative stuff, right? I don't know a lot about the positives that I just don't know from just knowing them also.
Yeah.
So I started to think about it, and I'm like, I can't imagine what she's saying about me, right?
Yeah.
And like in friendships, you want to be able to share your life. You want to be able to have somebody to bounce ideas with. Or
and especially with, I don't want to say it with everybody you can, but with women, you really can. You can, especially when it comes to friends. Like, I don't ever, this stuff never crosses my mind when it comes to you. You're my sister.
Right, it's totally different.
It's totally different. But when it comes to like other women,
you have to watch it.
You really do, and you have to watch
it sucks
what
that
they
you have
do.
to feel like that.
It does, but I mean, if you want to, and I feel like sometimes people have friends that I
just say at 36, I don't want frenemies.
I don't either.
I feel like that should
but
go.
I also
without
don't
being
want,
said.
like, there's some chicks that have like my going out friends, and then there's like my best friend, and there's like my friends for. I'm like, I just have friends.
I said, I don't have time for all that.
I don't have time for all that. Like
I do kind of get it though, because in my 20s I used to have like all these different friend groups, but it was more like an interest thing, not because I feel like I couldn't do stuff with them or tell them stuff, but just because like I had such a wide variety of interests, which I still do. I just don't have time for it as much, but, and then I like have a birthday or something, and it'd be so fun because it'd like be this collection of
all your
do you remember my parties back in the day? And it'd be like a collection of like a really odd array of people, right? Like,
yes.
Like some people are like kind of white trash, and then you got some like you got like an engineer back there that's like super smart,
And then you have the homie from the block coming around.
Yeah, you got like maybe a local celebrity or something, and it just at random, you never knew. But like at this age, like yeah, you want like an all-in-one friend, but mainly your circle's smaller. The few that are in it, you want to be able to trust, right?
Yes.
So this girl's talking about all these people to me, and also doing vague shit posting. I feel like, come on, like, it is the good Lord earlier 2022.
If you want to put your stuff out there,
then put it out there. Say it with your chest, right? But no, constantly I would see these posts about, and I'm like, is she talking about her cousin? Is she talking about me? And I'm like, and at that very instant, I'm like, I don't even want to be friends with somebody that I feel like would talk about me. So it just kind of started slowly building. And then I had approached her and I was like, hey, who is this about? Because if it's not about me, because like one time I did approach her, like this other girl that she was friends with was saying that like, she would say that this girl had tried to like steal the attention of this male guy that she was kind of seeing, and told me about it. I was like, why are you friends with her? Like, I called her out, like way before I called her out officially, like I had asked her, and this is just all these little moments just make you kind of see a person for who they are, right? Yeah. So like, I asked her, why are you friends with her? Because I guess she went to use the bathroom and her friend had kind of hit on the male guy that M was with, right? And she said, well, yeah, you gotta watch her because she'll like, she's tried to like, she stole this guy from me in college, and then she tried to steal this guy, and the guy told me, so he was like, hey, your friend's not a friend. And I was like, that's really good they told you, really solid guy. Honestly, might be wasting your time.
Right.
because instead of her being like, hey, why did you do this? This made me uncomfortable. She just stays friends with her, but that she doesn't like. Like, why be friends with people that you don't like? Why be friends with people if you think they don't have your best interest at heart?
A lot of people,
because I don't have time for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a busy bitch.
A lot of people just, I feel like, not a lot. Some people are good at just like, or they just don't care. Does that make sense? Like they have friends, but you're like, eh.
Either way, I feel like it's super problematic. So if you don't know what I'm passionate about, I am so passionate about people. Just like, you do what you do, but like, I am so sick of people being unhappy, but then they would do stuff like that. And that's exactly how this person was. Like, always like, I have insomnia, or like going to mental institute. Like, of course you do. You have a toxic AF life. And I'm not just talking about your friends, like about your food, about your habits. Like, not to be sensitive, because I know that mental illness is real, so I'm not trying to be insensitive. Like, that's not my implication here, but it is just the fact that like, you at some point you have to be accountable for your actions. Yes. And you have to hold other people accountable for their actions.
That same thing happened. A situation happened with Jaden and my daughter and one of her friends, and long story short, this chick just went postal on him, and I was like, okay. I gave Jaden my subtle advice, and she was like, you know what, you're probably right, but the girl is just, she needs, like, Jaden and her friend came to the conclusion, like, this chick she just needs help, because it's not normal for people to do what she did. Like,
hurt people 100%.
I just said something about that the other day. Like, they just do, and it's sad. I love you. So,
and that's like one of the hardest things for me is like, because I have an overwhelming sense of compassion, it was like hard for me because like, not only like, because
you get attached to somebody because you genuinely care.
And I'm like not a shipper. Like, I'm just a sentimental person, right? And like, so it bothered me so much to see her act in this way that I feel like is ugly, right? Like talking about people that you're supposed to love, the people that bend their back, like not only her cousin, but her cousin's husband, like just being there for ways, like when she was struggling, like I had sent her money like a few times, like not a lot, but like, you know, but like I would do with you, like treat her like my sister, right? You know what I'm saying? Like whenever she was going through her divorce, just being there. And then, so when this all came to a head, so anyway, she's telling me that girl, and I'm like, so I asked her at that time, why are you still friends with her? Because that right there gave me the ick.
What did she
you
say?
know? Well, and she said, well, she's either just gonna deny it, or you know, she's just gonna say she's sorry but keep doing it. So I was like, so again, why are you friends with her? She's like, well, I just know how she grew up, and basically just tried to frame it like as having a lot of empathy for her. But I'm like, you know, and at the time I was just like, okay, well, I guess I could respect that. Basically just saying that like I don't want to say like her honus, but basically that's how she worded it. Those are her words, not mine. But basically saying her being like that was a result of childhood trauma, right? And like, okay, but like that's not real empathy. That's more the fake ingenuous. Because like real empathy would be having a conversation with her and being like, hey, this is what you're doing. I know this is why you're doing it. If you can't quit this behavior, I don't want to be your friend.
Right.
If you do, like, let's grow together, right? And
Yes.
I feel like I don't want friendships that aren't that anymore. You know what I'm saying? And that's like I just felt like you don't have to personally grow for me, but you also definitely can't be a detriment to my life. You know what I'm saying?
In my opinion, that is the truest definition of quote unquote protecting your energy. Like you see all these Pinteresty quotes and things on social media. Like I like that stuff because that's what everything that you just said is what that means to me. It's not like the super petty, overly sensitive people. And I am sensitive AF. I can say that.
She is highly
I'm super sensitive. But what you know,
do you have
that,
a Cancer moon?
I don't know. Probably.
Let's Google right now. You have a computer. We'll do that in a second.
We're gonna do this, but I am very sensitive. So if I call someone out for being sensitive, just know that is bold, and it's facts, bold and true statement. Because I don't call many people sensitive, but you know it takes one to know one. So
I would know, right?
Yes,
not me. I feel like I'm the opposite. I feel like it's partly because I think sometimes I even come across as callous, but it's not that. It's just that like I'm super unobservant. So if you are ever around me or meet me in real life, and I just like seem like I'm super nonchalant, it's because I am. I don't know what's going on. What day is it? I'm so happy to see you.
Where
That's
am
my
I?
personality. Yeah. Where am I? So anyways, this all comes to a head, and at the end of it, like I feel like I definitely made the right decision because like like I told you, I had this girl that's an acquaintance of ours, and which I say girl, like I said, or woman, because it's not a friend, because obviously this other girl felt comfortable enough to talk stuff to her, and she didn't tell me till after the other friendship ended, right? But so she told me, oh yeah, she was saying that this baby shower that you threw for her was like really late, like basically just talking crap about a baby shower I'd thrown her. Now keep in mind, I threw her this baby shower after we had just started talking again on Facebook, like because we kind of lost touch when she moved away for college, and so, but like we had only been Facebook friends again for like a month or two. So I feel like that also says, and this is gonna sound mean, but a lot about her character.
No, that
because
makes
like
sense.
why was I the first person, only person you had to ask after I hadn't seen you for years?
Right.
But I did it out of the kindness of my heart. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then you had the nerve to like, and here's the thing, I thought about it, I was like, I thought I did a cute job with like the decorations and food, and like what else do you want? Because I'm promising you there were not that many people that came, and the people that did come didn't have gifts for her in excess of what I spent. So did you want some baller baby shower for you to get your $200 in gifts?
Probably.
Like I just the audacity to complain about somebody doing something from their heart.
Right. That's
Ungratefulness at its core, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like, and then I thought like, I've had 2 kids. I know. Did you throw either one of my baby showers?
Mm-hmm.
No, you threw one of them.
I
It was
did.
amazing. You don't remember planning my son's baby shower? You did such a good job.
I did.
Oh my god.
I need to do. I'm so bad. I know.
Early onset. I'm not even gonna make that joke because we shouldn't joke about Alzheimer's, but like,
I know.
you don't remember?
I do. Okay, now I do know.
Okay.
No, but I remember the day.
But just my
Jordan was
point,
born, like it was yesterday. That was weird. Like I remember certain things. Like you know what I'm saying.
Right.
My memories there's so much in there, you know?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Do you ever feel like you have some kind of crazy trauma that you know about because your memory's bad? Or did you just have a lot of fun in your youth? Because I play that game constantly. I'm like, did I have secret trauma that I have my memory blocked out? Or did I just do a lot of ecstasy at one point?
I think it's a little bit of both for both of us.
Okay.
We were bad. We were real bad. Speaking of, I have some random questions I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
What is the craziest, and you probably have a lot, you can name it more than one if you want, but what's one of the craziest memories of our teenagers that you have? Of us, or me, or both?
Oh my gosh. Like, first of all, I feel like that's so hard because, like, that feels so long ago.
See, and
Isn't it weird that we were 16, like 15 and 16, like 20 years ago?
Yes, I think that all the time. Like, how much time has to just flown by, and how fast time goes by when you have kids. Like, because you start to notice everything.
Because most of the time I feel like a mom now. Like, I'm in my solid, like, I'm the OG. Like, I've been doing this. Like, I'm a seasoned mom. But there are some moments where, like, I am a teenager. Why am I in charge of this household?
I'm feeling 22.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm a baby. Like, what?
No, me too.
And then I'm like, okay, no, I'm not. Wait, that's crazy. So, okay, so what's yours of ours? Jog my memory. And then, I don't even know if it would be from the teens. Like, we had a lot of good times in our 20s.
Did. Just a one fun random one was when we were on some drug of some sort. Like, it's no secret, okay? Are you
talking about the downtown
We got the
moment?
let out, yes. And we were driving.
We were tripping on.
You were driving.
You were driving. You were driving.
Oh no, that's
Okay, so we're driving downtown Tulsa, and I think we were leaving a rave or something. I don't know.
A concert, a party, something like club.
And we were young, like 17 and 18.
18, yes, actually 17, 18, maybe even 16, 17.
We're with that girl whose name starts with a K that we went to Edison with.
We were.
Yeah, do you remember her?
Yes.
She was obsessed with us.
Do
you ever feel like that happens so much? Okay, not to get off topic. Do you ever feel like we were so close to sisters? There was always, every once in a while, we'd make a friend, like, you know, like we'd make friends that could just stick around and blend in with us. But every once in a while, we would make this friend, and she would just like love our dynamic so much. And not just this one girl. This happened in a few instances where they would just love our dynamic so much. They would just assume that they were one of us, though. And we're like, we're actually sisters.
You know what I'm? Yes.
And it felt bad
because I get jealous. Because sometimes, every once in a while, there was some cool ones, you know what I mean? And then when we got older, we had our own friends, but we also always had that those people that
were like friends with both of us.
Yes.
Yeah. And so we're driving downtown, though. We're leaving like a rave or something. And then Jessie's driving. This bitch.
Everybody thinks, everybody in my family thinks I'm a bad
bitches.
driver. I'm not a bad driver.
Is it bad to call women bitch? Like in the term of
I
endearment?
actually called my daughter that the other day. I'm like, because we were laughing. She laughed. I was like, I'm sorry. But I was like, you little, I didn't mean to, but I flip her off all the time. It's fine.
So we're driving downtown, and then she looks at the stoplight. She goes,
what are those lights with?
Why are they backward? And then she's like, oh, those are the stoplights. Why are they backwards? Because she was going the wrong way.
And it took
down a one way, guys.
Oh, gotta love downtown Tulsa. Now I am confident with downtown Tulsa. I know where I'm going. I feel like I could, but I would not do that because I don't. Now that my mom and an adult, like the thought of even doing ecstasy just gives me anxiety.
Right.
Like it makes me sweat, and I'm like, I don't, not in a good way. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
like, what if I have a stroke? No, just
something as bad is going to happen.
I don't know. Go to your home. Are you too good for your home? Honestly, I feel like, okay, just most of my crazy memories though were not like, I definitely had some with you, but most of them weren't with you like in high school, like, because some of them were and some of them weren't. But, you know, I feel like you were like my little sister, so I always also try to protect you to some degree, you know?
Yes.
So yeah. Oh, I mean, I feel like getting matching tattoos was a good moment for us though.
We did get that, didn't we?
Yeah.
We need to go get more.
We do. But remember Pistol Annie's tattoos?
Yes.
I want one that's just we have though.
I do too.
Because that other girl has one too.
Yes.
Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, shout out if you're listening. But,
Hi.
Hey.
They may not even have it anymore. She may not even have it anymore. Because I thought about getting mine covered. We could go get them covered up to where they're matching just us.
All we have to do is get them filled in. Not even covered up.
Right.
Yeah, I would be down for that.
We
Someday.
have they're little pistols and they're on our hip. And when got mine done after I had already had my daughter, but when she was pregnant with, when you were pregnant with Jordan, remember it looked like a shotgun?
Oh, hell yeah. It looked like a shotgun.
Good time.
It was all stretched out on my stomach. It was beautiful and disgusting. It was just beautiful.
It was. What is the best piece of advice that you have ever given somebody, and what's the best piece of advice that someone's ever given you? It can be anybody.
My best piece of advice. I don't know. I have like 3 or 4 couples that got married through me.
I was thinking about that the other day. Like she's a real life matchmaker. I know.
So and that's just not even professionally. Like obviously, if I charge you for it, that's not my best piece of advice. But maybe that's not advice. Maybe that's a referral. So maybe that's not the best piece of advice I've given. Because I feel like I give a lot of really solid advice. So I don't even know how I would narrow that down. I would just say, but the number one thing is if you are a pregnant woman, do not let them induce you. Unless you are like 42 weeks plus.
Yes, that is a good advice.
That's a piece of advice I used to always give my young mom friends because I didn't want them to have a C-section against their will because doctors don't care about us. Doctors don't care about us.
And also,
they
did you know that they don't? Did you know that like half of the entire, if you...
I think I told you not to get induced. No, because I hadn't had a baby.
My cervix is tilted. Like I would never be able to birth a child like that.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, my gynecologist didn't tell me that. If they did, I don't even remember. She wasn't there.
Oh, to tell them.
Yeah. Because they didn't think that I was going to, they thought I was going to have to wait. Like, that was Monday. My appointment to actually, quote unquote, be induced was Friday.
Okay, so maybe that's not my best piece of advice.
No, well, it's a case by case, and most of the time, doctors do because they're going on vacation. There's an episode on it on Grey's Anatomy. I know not all that shit is real, but some of it is because they actually, they look, I've read about it. That's one of my favorite shows. They would pull stories and be like, no, that can actually happen. Like, it's very rare. So, but obviously, all of it only happens under Grey's roof. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's Grey's Anatomy. But to say that where you cannot trust doctors, did you know that if somebody has a list of every single prescribed drug on the market in the United States of America from A to Z, more than like 80% of those, I think it's even higher than 80%, are not allowed to be prescribed in any other country because they're poison. Because other countries are. You didn't know that?
Oh, I said I had not heard that exact statistic.
It's something around that. Like
I would like the site, and I would like the information cited. You should definitely link it here because I would read it 100% because that is insane.
Yeah. And like. I don't know.
But also completely believable. Like, I'm also not shocked at all. Like, look at my face. I'm like, oh yeah, it makes perfect sense.
I am going to, look at it's starting with food, like the Marchkins, Monsanto, it goes all the way up to pharmaceuticals. I have read a little bit here and there, and you know my memory is very, very vague sometimes. I will find a site and I will send it to you. Maybe we can do a whole nother episode on that, like about how the government, and it's sad because people are so quick to be like, well, my doctor gave me this. My doctor gave me that, and they've made.
So I definitely talking to you that totally reframed because you know how I am. I'm like pretty not all natural, like
when it comes
to that. So yeah, I think that's definitely been my best piece of advice I've probably been giving out since I was like 15, 16. Is just like don't trust the man with your health specifically.
It's funny too that mom and dad are so both rampage on politics. I vote independent, but honestly, at the end of the day, they both work for the federal government. You know what I'm saying? We're all voting for the government, one way or the other. You're voting for the same government.
Right.
That's how I view all of it. It's just all a bunch of bullshit. All a bunch of horseshit. No, but seriously. That's why I just hate, it's important to know things. It's important to know what everybody's doing, including both people. But at the end of the day, I'm like, what are you going to do to stop it? Arguing over in Facebook comments, while it is entertaining for our purposes, it makes you look like, okay, that's great.
And honestly, what kind of distraction is it? You know what I'm saying?
what right? It's I mean, people say, you know, do you get up, you know, fight for your rights, blah blah blah, and that's great, but just like
and that's kind of what I meant by being like at a pace where I'm not overly like, I guess not being passionate about things that you can't control. Like, not to say that you can't get involved in government, and of course you can vote, but like I also feel like that same thing that I was telling about earlier, like not being able to I feel like identify myself with one defining thing of who I am, because I am so many things, right? Like I'm an amazing cook, and I'm a hula hooper, and I'm a, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like
people take everything to extreme now.
Like, yeah, I want to make it their entire personality,
like, or their entire life. Which, you know what? And again, fine, but like everything at the end of the day, it's how you present yourself and how you treat other people going about that. You want to be a happy, go about, nice, sweet,
and also like all things in moderation, right?
Yeah, that's like facts. No matter what it is, everything from food to politics to social media, like
that's probably been like one of the hardest things, like me learning in my adolescence and early 20s, was like how to like regulate, because I feel like neither one of our parents, like, and our parents are like amazing and love us, right? Like they are really good, but like they're also just, you know, they were raised at a different time and like neither one of them have a lot of moderation. Like dad's really good with his finance, like he's really smart with that kind of stuff and like not overspending, but like he likes to drink excessively, right? Like, you know, he does definitely a lot less so now because he's older, but even still, like, you know, mom like is like a spender. Like I just feel like they're not really moderation people,
right?
And I feel like, or they got that later in life. So I feel like that's something that I had to work on a lot when I was younger, just being a person of like moderation. Like, yes, you can go to the gym, right? And like, it's really a good thing for you to do.
Me too, but I think
you don't have to take diet pills though when you do it.
No,
and you don't have to go 8 times a week, and you don't have to only eat boiled eggs. Just freaking go to the gym and live your life, right?
And you don't have to
go to the gym. It doesn't have to be your persona. It doesn't have to be your entire personality.
And you don't have to go to the gym just to look good.
Right.
Like, you shouldn't go to the gym just to look good, because then you're doing it for all the wrong reasons. You're probably doing every movement wrong. You're probably barely even working out with your Lululemons. No offense, but you know what I'm saying. Like, when I started working out, like, for my health, just to be, because I told my husband the other day, I'm like, I want to get up and dance and move and be like I do now when it's just me, him, and Jaden at the house, or even my stepdaughter. Like, I want to be able to get up and do those same stupid. So I don't want to say your like dreams and aspirations, but what are you most hopeful for the generations coming behind us? What do you hope to see for their sake and their happiness?
So I feel like we've made like a lot of progress. Like, okay, on one hand, we haven't, because we're obviously so far behind on a lot of stuff, but on other things we have, right? Like, women couldn't vote up. It's just now crossed the 100-year mark, right, of where women can vote. So we're so far leagues ahead, but we've also kind of strayed so far, I feel like, from pretty instrumental, like, just core priorities.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like, sometimes I get worried. Like, I just see such bright lights, you know, within children like Jaden and, you know,
Jordan.
Yeah, was he in here? I don't know. But you know what I'm saying? But then, like, you also have like a really big worry, because you're like, man,
you hope that there's enough of children like ours. I mean, obviously we're gonna be biased, but they're freaking amazing. You hope that there's enough of them, and you hope that they see that there is. I worry sometimes that they are just scared for the future, but then I also, like, in talking with Jaden and other kids, like, some of them are not even phased, some of them, because they don't know anything else. You know what I mean? Kind of like when we were younger, we didn't know anything. 9/11 was so, like, oh my gosh, because we had never experienced that before. Whereas people like our grandmother, she had, maybe not so close to home, but it wasn't like it wasn't their first war.
Right.
It wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's not their fault because they're younger, but it's a catch-22. Like, I'm excited to see like what they do, like, personally with their lives, but I'm sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, I'm scared to see what this world that they live in, how hard it's gonna push them, how, you know what I'm saying, how much they're gonna have to fight that, which you're always gonna have to, quote unquote, fight the man, but you just wonder if they're gonna how
I
hard.
would like to see, like, I probably think the best thing that could happen for like society, so like future and present, would be like the same kind of revolutionary road that we've had with civil rights happen, with workers' rights happen, right? Like people used to die in coal mines here, you know, they still die in other countries in different kind of mining situations, but like that was something that we had child mining in the United States, right? Like it's mind blowing, but 100 years ago, you know, even, you know, there were kids, young children working in like coal mines and, you know, all kinds of dangerous situations.
Where Loretta Lynn's song came from.
Okay,
Coal miner's daughter.
That's not how the song goes. Do you want me to sing it for you? No. Okay, but it's kind of, but it was like so off tune. Like I need you to say that one more time.
I'm proud to be a coal miner's daughter. Oh, what else for you, Dad?
So yeah, but like we made so much progressions in so many things, but like one of like the worst thing that I feel like has been slept on by us that a lot of us are like waking up to now is just like the lack of general, just basic life access, like access to life, like water, food that's not poisonous, and healthcare.
Water that doesn't have plastic in it.
And I don't even know if that's something that's super fixable at this point, but at least clean water, right? So I just think the basic tenets of life, like the same revolution that we've had with basic civil rights regarding race, regarding sexual orientation, regarding education, you know, I would really like to see that same like civil rights push for just actual life, like right, like life sustaining things that we need that are capitalized and corporate, you know, made to be like corporate for profit. Like I would just love to see us tear it to the ground, right? You know what I mean? Like
we gotta burn this patriarchy down. What show is that on? That little girl. It's adorable.
But you know, but seriously,
Yes.
like I would love that. So that would be my hope for the future, is that we just come to a place where like basic existence
is not such a struggle and a fight each day.
Right. For like more people. Like, you know, I feel like we're both pretty fortunate like that. We don't have to like worry about those things on a daily basis.
But the people that
But even then still, like insurance is insane. So like you have it, but
I'm very terrified for, no offense to any, I know amazing like doctors and nurses, mostly nurses, and my daughter's one of them, but they like, when I meet good people that genuinely care, that work in the healthcare field, it makes me feel hopeful.
It does, but I also feel like it's so far and few between.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking for an OB-GYN recently, and like the only decent ones I found, I called, and since they were so good and amazing, they were only for high risk.
Really?
Yeah, so like they were only if you were pregnant with a high risk baby. So guys, it's been like I've been looking forever and I still have not found.
Same.
Because they're just, you know, actually it's like that's a real thing that's happening, particularly in Oklahoma right now, is we're having a lot of healthcare professionals leave the state.
Especially probably since like Roe versus Wade.
Right, exactly. And so it's been kind of.
Those are some, talk about taking a step backwards. That's crazy.
Right, so like all the, like, so that would probably be the biggest thing, is just like that they continue making progression, right, towards our basic life and really towards protecting the environment, because I think that's been like a fight for so long that we're pretty clearly losing, right? So like,
that's a good one. I love that one.
And world peace.
But seriously though.
World
World peace.
peace.
I love you. I can't wait till we do this again.
I know.